Yes, we're going to talk about real estate, but what I really want to talk about is unpacking your life.
Fantastic. Well, that all goes together. It's kind of unpacking my life a second time around, this time physically, along with mentally, and taking agency and all that other good stuff. But yeah,
Well,
I'm
here's what
happy.
happens. We see your Instagram page, we see your website, we see all of the success that you've created in luxury real estate. And a lot of people will assume, well, she's got her shit together. And I
Mhm.
know you do. And I also know it's been a road to get here.
Yes, it's
And that's
also
what I
has.
want to start this show with, because I want aspiring women, especially younger women or women of any age who are in it. They're just in it right now. And
Yeah.
they can't see how they can have the success that you have or I have. And so let's start there. What happened that you started unpacking your life? What was the thing in your life that happened?
Well, when I think about success, I think about happiness. That's what we all think about initially. We think about, wow, we're going to be, once we get this and have that and all these great things and shiny baubles and, the cars, all the superficial shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have it, there's a desire for it because it validates you somewhat to society with having it all, making it all, being it all. And it's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized, there was a point in my life, where everything I built, my image, my title, my accolades, my lifestyle, I had to strip it all down because I wasn't happy. And every time I realized that that was not making me happy, because you get to the point you're like, okay, well, I did that. Well, I was told I was going to be incredibly happy. I felt icky. I felt like I was chasing something that I was never going to be fulfilled with.
Yeah.
And it
What
made
was
me
the bullshit? What was the bullshit?
the baubles, the things, everything that we thought or we think validates us, having the nicest clothes, the nicest car, the big house, the swimming pool, the invites, and with superficial people that probably don't even like you, and secretly you probably don't like them either, but you put up with it. That's the BS.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff that we fantasize being a part of, and then when we get there, it's nothing like that. I
What was it
recall
like
reading
for
a
you?
book. um it was like everybody was watching. Everybody's watching you and cheering you on and cheering you on. And you feel like you can't let them see you crack or sweat. But, I was
Yeah.
always very authentic with what I was dealing with within my career as far as real estate. Because real estate, listen, I need to share with agents, especially new agents or agents, that people that are thinking about becoming agents. It's a real grind. It's a tough gig. You have to be all in. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. And you have to stick to the process, not the, outcome,
Mm.
because it will never be the way you think it will be. As long as you stick to the process, that's where you will start climbing and bringing in or bringing on people that are smarter than you, more organized than you, that can support you and build you up.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that initially. I didn't have that even in the middle. I was still hustling and banging and knocking down every door and posting every Instagram post, every Facebook. I was doing it all because I felt like no one could do it better than I. And I just truly wanted to be my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall having someone take over posting a small task, not really understanding what it meant. Someone told me, "Why are you on social media, Jane?"
Mm.
I said, "Don't you know social media is to market yourself, not to, have your cute dog up there and this and that. Do you know what you're doing? Do you even know if you're being intentional about it?" That's when
Mm-hmm.
that light bulb went off in my head. And I went, wow, I'm okay. I get it. Well, I am going to be intentional. I am going to share my thoughts. I am going to share my experience and wisdom with the people that are going to come after me. And even the people that are in place right now feel stuck and don't know what they're doing, because I was there, but I was able to fight my way out. And
Mm.
everyone sees when you're at the top. They never look to see where the climb started, or even when you're in the middle of the climb, which is
Right.
chaos. You're trying to
Where
figure
did,
this out and stay successful and keep an image and keep, the
yeah,
outside looking good when the inside is feeling horrible.
let's unpack that
Okay.
for our
Okay.
listeners. Where did you start? And I get it because I'm a blue collar girl.
Same thing.
Success has been a climb. For you, where did it start and what was that mess?
The mess was just, I would say I kind of was sort of an imposter to myself. I wasn't really being the Jane that I know I am. It's not like I had to, I've never had to punch a clock, one. I've always worked for myself. So I know what it means to work hard and to really go out there and grind and knock on doors and get in front of people. I didn't have to learn confidence. I earned confidence. I gained confidence
Mm,
by doing. A lot of people don't do. They think it's supposed to just come on, upon them.
yeah.
That's something you earn. That's something you learn by being out there. It teaches you how to grow. And, when I realized success, by the world standards weren't my standards, I had to strip it all the way down. And that's when I started finding my voice again, because I had walked away from social media for a while and everything else that
What did
had
you walk away
anything to
from?
do. I walked away from my home. I walked away from my business. And not ill-willed with it, just a decision, because someone shared with me, Jane, not making a decision is also making a decision.
Yeah.
And that was another huge light bulb. And I said, I have to stop the bleeding, stop the stress, gather myself, because I'm no good to anybody else if I'm not strong. And I'm always looked at as the strong one. So I just kind of packed everything up and said, I'm going to unpack. It kind of was like, okay, I'm going to pack to unpack, because I just got to, clear everything out. I need some clarity back in my life. I need to align myself with what makes me feel good,
Hmm. What did
because
you
what's,
know? Women are doing this across the planet right now. We had
of
200,000
course.
women alone. Well, 200,000 women is one statistic that I've seen that have left corporate
Mhm.
America since January. Another statistic that we've had over 300,000 women of color leave the workforce. You
Mhm.
left. What did you leave? Did you leave real estate or did you have to just leave a lifestyle? What was it that you were
I,
leaving?
I had to just put things on hold for a minute so I can gather my thoughts, so I can
Gotcha.
understand where I wanted to go and what I really wanted. Because if you don't know what you want, you don't know where you're going.
That's right.
You don't even know how to get it. That's the first part. You have to know what you want. And I've always known what I wanted
Mm,
throughout my life. And I've always gone after it, chased it, so to speak. And I tell everybody, the success is not in the chase, it's in the underbelly. It's
mhm.
in the fire. It's underneath that thing you call your stomach. It's in the underbelly. It's lying there waiting to burst out. It never goes away.
Nope.
That's where ambition, success, energy, clarity comes from. You have to know exactly what you want. If you don't know what you want, how are you going to get there? How are you going to go? How are you even going to tell
Yeah,
somebody to help you?
so true. How did
So
you
I had
figure
to
that
kind
out?
of know things. um, I just it didn't sit well with me. It didn't
Mm,
sit, it's this thing that you always have that's pulling you, telling you, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be doing something else. And it's not people. It's that, thing in your head, those two people on your shoulders. Oh, you can do it. No, you can't. Where are you going? No, you're fine right here. You're comfortable. Don't move. And another part of you is saying, well, no, I'm not happy. How am I going to
mhm.
make this work if I'm not happy? And to me, happiness
Was
is
it a
everything.
marriage? What was
No,
it?
it wasn't. Yeah, I see you peeling it back. It really wasn't my marriage. It wasn't my marriage. It was a culmination of a lot of things. Of
Mm,
climbing and going into a business and an industry that I had gone in before, and I knew what I was up against. But then when I got there to at this point, it was a struggle. Then, like I said, I figured it out. And then I climbed and climbed fast, because once you figure it out, you're going to keep moving and you're going to hire the people around you to take you there. Correct?
yeah,
It was
absolutely.
it was about a culmination of things. It was marriage, it was business, it was environment, it was everything.
Gotcha.
Everything just came down at once. And
Yeah.
I had to navigate through it. I had to figure out how to navigate through it to get to my happiness. When I unpacked everything,
Mhm.
I had clarity. And I was like, okay, now what?
Now what?
Now what? What are you going to do? Are you going to stay here? Yes, you are. You're going to stay right in this lane, because this is your lane. You know real estate.
Yeah.
You coach people. You understand how this works. You have a degree in finance. You understand marketing. You understand finance. Actually, you kind of like it. I'm not going to say I love it, but I do like it. It makes things happen for you. It allows me to do things that I really want to do. It's an
Yeah.
engine and energy to, my next cause, whatever that may be.
What changed for you once you decided? This is a critical moment for so many people, and I agree. For me, I just needed to decide. I needed to decide to
Yeah,
get a divorce. I needed to decide to literally I almost lost everything, which is where that clarity came from to then rebuild.
exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. You have to build from truth.
Mhm.
If you don't build from your truth, then you're building on all these falsities, aren't you? And you're building whatever that is, a house of cards, and they'll come apart. Either you'll stick there and you'll be miserable your whole life, wherever that may be, a job, a marriage, family, whatever that may be, a church. I mean, we take on so much that don't belong to us,
Yeah,
and we don't know how to release it. And at some time and point, you have to take agency with that, and you have to
right.
live on your own terms. And these aren't new terms. You have to know that this is who you are, and where you want to go and how you want to get there. I always tell agents, and I'll reflect this back to real estate. If you want to make $300,000 a year, how are you going to get there?
Mhm.
Back into that for me. Because if you back into that, then it'll tell you how you're going to make $300,000. But if you just put
Mhm.
a number up there, and I ask you, how are you going to get there? Well, I'm going to sell a couple houses. Well, no, that's not the answer.
That's not
Wrong.
gonna get you there.
That's not going to get you there.
That's
Okay?
not gonna get you there.
No, it has a whole lot to do with everything, as far as
Yeah.
getting there. But, I had to build back from truth, and I had to build back from inner happiness and energy and spirit. And people, when they see me now, they go, oh my God, you're glowing. I'm like, wait a minute, was I not glowing? That's the vanity part. Was I not glowing?
Yeah.
I thought I was glowing. I mean, I probably was glowing because I was achieving, and I was definitely committed to the result.
Mhm.
Now I'm committed to the process, because
To
everything
the
is a
process. I
process.
love that.
You have to be committed to the
Yeah, it
process,
is.
and you have to build from truth. If you're not building from truth, what are you building from? You have to be
Yeah,
yourself. You have to be your authentic self no matter what you do, because no becomes hard for you when you're not.
that's
And
right.
when you're true to yourself, no is very easy, because you
So
know that
easy.
alignment with what you want to do or who you are now. I felt like I was becoming, and I'm still becoming, but I'm becoming on my own terms. I think,
We all
sometimes
are.
when two people get together, man and woman, when two people get together, for some odd reason, we don't get the memo. We are not one. We're still two individuals that have decided to come together, and we can
Agreed.
decide to not be
Agreed.
together.
We
Hopefully.
can. You unpacked some things. You left
Mhm.
some things. You took a step into your truth. And today you operate in one of the most high pressure, high visibility markets in the world.
Oh, yeah.
How do you keep performing at that level and stay true to yourself?
Well, again, you learn what, success is, and you learn who your clients are. That's important, to know who you're dealing with. And it doesn't matter if they're
Mm,
wealthy or not, they still get the same treatment. You can't differentiate treatment and
mm,
service from one to another because one price is lower than the other. I mean, your business is gone if that's the case. It's called service and servitude. And, you take risk, you understand people, you sit down with them, you have a conversation with them, you listen. I think listening is an amazing
mhm,
skill set to have, because if you don't listen, how will you know? How will you understand? How will you know how to move with these people? Because pretty much
mhm.
everyone I encounter are strangers. They're not friends. I never really sold to my friends. My friends didn't have the money to buy the properties that I was selling. If they were, I'd probably be over there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, these having that skill set is, again, something you have to hone, and craft. And it's a different skill set, because dealing with people of wealth and staying true to yourself, you still have to have enough confidence to deal with them, because these are titans, titans of
Yeah.
America. These are people that have seen people like myself come and go all day long. They run companies, they have board members, they have people
Yeah.
that answer to them all day long. So when you're sitting in front of this type of client, trust me, you better be prepared, because if you're not, the next person that's coming up after you to have an interview with that person is going to get the job, and you're not. You have to understand what you're
Yeah.
doing,
You
your
got to stay
market.
on it.
Yeah,
Got
luxury
to know your
real
shit and
estate.
you got to know yourself.
I didn't fit the mold of luxury real estate. I mean, that's not who I was. I was in entertainment. I had big hair, 6 feet tall. really big hair at the time, thin, and I'm knocking on your door saying, "Hi, I'm Jane Bond," which you never met me. You only heard me over the phone. So, I was good enough to get into your house over the phone. Now I'm in front of you. So now you're casing me out. You want to know if I got the
Mm,
goods. You want to know. So now I'm in the house. Apparently you think I got something because some people won't even let you in their home.
mm-hmm.
Dealing with a $10 million client and a $500,000 client and a $200,000 client is no different to me. They all get the same service. They all get the Jane Bond. That's who they want. That's who they
Mm,
hire. So I don't turn it over to anybody else unless it's turned over to a team that I'm with, my team, because
yeah,
you have to look
that's
out
right.
for these
That's a
people.
great.
They're used to service. That's what they want. I think the real estate industry has gotten away from the service aspect of it. Even the well-seasoned agents, when I see them, it's just different. Maybe, and I said to myself, maybe it's because it's a different market. I don't know, but to me, business is business all day long, all the time. And you
Yeah,
show up. There's a certain way you show up. There's a certain way you act. There's a certain way you have to express yourself. You have to know the buzzwords of all of your industry. At least you can't sit there like a deer
yep,
in headlights. You know,
that's right.
um, growing up in the inner city in Philly, it taught me early to take risk and not be afraid, not have any fear. I think, someone
Mm,
asked me one time, where did you get all this confidence? It's not confidence, it's fearlessness to go after
mm,
what I want. And with
yes,
that comes confidence because I believe in myself. And you have to believe in yourself before anything else,
yeah,
before anybody
I agree.
believes you. So you have to walk in your own truth to be able to sell your service. Now, because anybody
Yep,
can see through a salesperson, you can see through them. I mean, unless you get conned, that's something different. But a really good salesperson, think about it. I don't know about you, but I get maybe 50 calls a day, people calling me trying to sell me things. I give them a few seconds because that's me
yep,
calling a customer and trying to get an appointment with them. So if you're good, I'll listen to you. If you're not, I hang up too. I'm human, I'm natural. And then sometimes I say, you know what, you're really good.
I love it.
Okay. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Let me know what you're doing. What are you selling? So
I do
it
the same
happens
thing.
sometimes.
That's right. What
Of,
are you selling?
of course, of course. When you walk into a
You
room
work with.
that's not built for you or you're not supposed to be in, but when you walk in, all the lights come on, there's something special about you. And once
Mm,
you recognize that, you need to hold on to that. And I think,
agreed.
sometimes women, we could walk in
Agreed.
rooms and we shrink immediately. Sometimes they shrink because they see another pretty woman, which is crazy. I had a podcast interview the other day, and this interviewer, she said, I'm going to bring back the mean girl phase. And I was like, well, what's that? And she says, the mean girl phase.
Why?
That's what I said. I said, why? And she said, because sometimes I just want to blurt things out. And I went, okay. I hope you're editing this. That's what I said to her. I hope you're editing this. I said, because you don't want people to hear that. And we had a laugh about it. But I thought
Yeah,
that was a
no.
strange thing to say. What's the mean girl phase?
Yeah.
I've never been a mean girl.
I'm over the mean girl phase. I'm over
I've
it.
never
I'm over it.
encountered them either.
I'm building, yeah, I'm building community of women who lift each other up and support each other and cheer each other on. There's no need for that anymore. It's actually a culture of women that's not supporting anybody's growth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know who they are. My group of friends are
no.
my group of friends, and I love them and I have a good time with them. Whenever I see them, we see each other. If we don't see each other for years, we pick up right where we left off.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
those are real friends.
Same.
I might not see you for 10 years, but as soon as I see you, I'm like, oh my God. And we're talking about whatever happened 10 years ago. So,
Right.
things happen in life. So,
Yeah.
but I like
You
where I
work with
am.
clients. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. And I know that's a big part of your brand is helping people unpack how to get there, how to get where they like where they are. And same for me. I wake up every day in a life that I love, with a family that I love, doing work
Mhm.
that I love. And I don't think that we could, I mean, what more is there to ask for in this world, right? For me, the next level is I want to
Yeah,
make an impact. I want to make a difference.
exactly.
I want to leave some marks
Legacy.
behind me.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You have to. This is not for us to take with us. We have to give it back, all of it. And
All
that
of
was
it.
another turning point in my life. I needed to give it back. And even now, with the podcast and aging is becoming ageless. I mean, all of that. We're giving it back. Now that I'm getting older, wow, I see a lot of things that are changing and emotions and everything. I mean, just like you said, women. we are out here trying to support each other like nobody's business today. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And we're standing up for each other.
Agreed.
And we
I
have
love it.
to.
I
Yeah.
agree. So let's talk about mindset of the wealthy. I didn't grow up
Okay.
around money. You didn't grow up around money. We've been leveling up. I've had days where I wake up and I go, nope, this is not where I want to be. Shift gears. You've done the same. And you work with clients who have significant wealth and influence. What do wealthy people understand about money and specifically about real estate that other people overlook?
Well, wealthy people understand that money is energy. It's
Mm,
energy. It flows toward clarity, confidence, again, validation for a lot of people, power. They don't chase it, they attract it.
mm,
They know how to use it. They know how to navigate all the financial vehicles with it. They have people to help them. They respect money. They have a relationship with money. And that's a huge part of understanding money. Is what's your relationship to it? How do you see yourself with money, without money, trying to get money, all of that? They attract the money through positioning themselves. They
mhm,
visualize it and then they position themselves. And when they position themselves, they make certain moves and they understand how to move within that
mm.
world. And like I said, not all of us are lucky enough to have advisors, but we do have friends that can help us.
That's right.
These people have very, very smart people that help them navigate. They invest in assets, they invest in art, they invest in mindset, they invest
That's
in
right.
relationships. That's what they put their money behind. Other companies, building relationships, building companies on top of companies. You'd be
That's
shocked
right.
some of the things that I've, you know, spoke to some of my clients about how they attain their. I mean, one thing about Naples, I wanted to do a TV show called The Oddities of Wealth because I met so many people that made their money in strange ways. And I was like, wow, really? I didn't even know that exists. And they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, Jane, you'd be surprised, and they're doing a gazillion pieces that connect the zipper and they're the
That's right.
ones that are making the money. It's crazy. So when I
Find a
hear
need.
stories from them, yeah, that's what they do. They find a niche and they go right for it. And I think the biggest thing about anyone with money is they see money as a tool.
Hmm.
Not everybody sees money as a tool.
Agreed. I think that's a great way to
Yeah.
land that point. I had the privilege of interviewing Muhammad Ali's granddaughter a few weeks
Mm.
ago, and she was in a conversation about not being enough. She's like, my grandfather is Muhammad Ali, and I wake up every single day in the question of whether or not I'm doing enough. And I think the
Oh,
comparison game gets a lot of people that we spend time comparing ourselves versus doing what you just described as get to it.
right.
Find one thing, find a need, and get working on it. The comparison game isn't going to serve you in any
No, you can't compare
conversation, right?
yourself. No, you
Yeah.
can't compare yourself. It's not about how much money you have. It's about how much peace you have. When you have peace in your life and joy, happiness is fleeting. Joy is amazing.
Yeah.
I think as I was growing up, I traveled a great deal because I was, in another industry. And I wasn't as close as I am to my family. And I think the one thing that I am very thankful and grateful for right now is that closeness to my family again.
Hmm.
Like I see them often. We do everything together. I'm always cooking dinner for my mom and my sisters. And we just really enjoy being around each other. And we get each other. Sometimes that doesn't happen in friendships. You can
Yeah.
have a fight with your sister, but you're definitely going to see her again or make up with her again. You have a fight with a friend, you might ever see them again. It might be too detrimental or whatever that may be, but family to me is key. And I didn't realize that for a long time, and getting back with that unit, knowing no matter what happens, they
Mm.
will always be there for me. I feel safe again. I didn't feel
Yeah.
safe.
I love that.
Yeah, I feel safe
Wow.
knowing that family is there. And that was very powerful to me. And that makes me feel like I can fly.
Hmm.
I have no idea where I'm gonna go next, but I know where I'm at now, and it just feels good to sit in my own
Right.
thoughts, in my own brain. And not that there isn't any room for anybody within my life now. There's plenty of room.
Right.
It's just I needed this time for me.
Yeah. I think
And I
that's so
think
important.
everyone gets to that.
I
I think
hope that they
everybody gets
do. The point of this conversation today is to give them permission. You have
100%, ladies.
permission, right?
You have to take agency today, not
Hmm.
tomorrow, today. And you have to release the chapters of your life that just don't serve you anymore.
That's right.
You need to have a waiting to exhale retreat with someone. I mean, just go and do it. And all the things that you wished you could have, should have, would have, and you're older now, stop thinking like that too. Because we have a lot of ladies that are going into their 50s, 60s, and beyond, and they think it's too late. Well, it's never too late.
Hmm.
The statistics say it. It tells you it's never too late. We got women out there that are doing all kinds of things at this age. They're not
That's right.
fading, they're
Nope.
becoming.
That's
And
it.
I believe in my heart that when you do decide to get rid of the chapters that don't serve you and take agency with who you are, you will blossom. You will just glow. You will just, everything will come to you. Your mind is freer. You're not cluttered, with a lot of things in your brain that tells you to go one way when you know you should be going another way. You know,
Hmm.
I think it's instinctively as women, we know when we're off, when we're completely
Yep.
off, but we're frozen. Most of the time, we're frozen. We can't move. And I don't know why. We're the mothers
Fear.
of Earth. We're the ones who nurtured everybody. We're the ones who brought these people here. How can you be
That's right.
fearful of that? That's where the
Yeah.
strength
It's
should come
scarcity.
in. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
scarcity, living a life of scarcity can be frightening for a lot of people. But it just depends on what you want.
Hmm.
I think when you decide and you make up your mind what you want, then you won't feel like you're living a life of scarcity.
That's right. You said something just a few minutes ago that I think is so important. And then we're going to transition because I do want to talk about real estate to end
Mhm.
the show. But you said that you felt safe with your family around. And so often people are looking for money to create the safety, but it just doesn't work that way.
No,
Money doesn't create the safety. It's your
it
support
doesn't.
system. It's your, yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Money doesn't, safety in terms of what you feel is, I mean, what you want to be safe from. That's a whole nother conversation. Safety to me feels the safety I was looking for, I believe, or coming back to was making sure I was loved, making sure the
Mm,
people I was around truly loved me. And that was important because I felt like I was in an environment where people didn't care about me. I was just this person that's doing all these things and I don't look like them. So it was kind of, I heard one guy tell a customer at one of my events, we think she's just an anomaly. All this work and I'm an
excuse me?
anomaly? Excuse me. Is it because I'm a female and first and second I'm black and I'm in
Hmm.
a place where nobody looks like me? I don't think so. I don't think this is an anomaly, honey. I think this is hard work that paid off and you can't handle it.
Boom.
And
That's it.
I don't compare myself to anyone. I never have. I never thought about that. I just thought about what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to go. And for me, getting there, and I still see so many people climbing and for all the wrong reasons, you
I
know.
agree.
Happiness is not there. Happiness is here. It's within you.
That's why we're having this conversation today.
Yeah. And like you said, comparison, you can't compare yourself. Nobody can.
No, no, it's not worth anybody's time to do that. Okay, so let's talk about investing. Let's talk about real estate because this is the number one thing that women lack when it comes to finance is that
Right.
women will say they're managing their cash flow okay, they have a decent job, but they aren't investing and real estate is risky. And having gone through 2008, yeah, it's a risk. But
Yeah.
how do you help someone overcome that? And what are the reasons to be investing in real estate right now for women?
I don't think it's just for women. I think it's for anybody that wants to invest. It's a smart vehicle to use to create wealth, not only just wealth, generational wealth within your family, create a legacy financially. A lot of kids that look like me didn't have those conversations at home, and nor did we, but my mom and dad were entrepreneurs. So I kind of watched carefully and saw our lives change. And they weren't all, my mom was not an entrepreneur, she was a nurse. And my father retired her. And, the business we were in was very risky, bars and nightclubs. I watched people
Hmm.
get, murdered. I've watched people lose their brains, their minds because someone drugged them. I mean, it wasn't a great environment, but then again, it was a great environment. It was an environment that I learned how to handle life and how to, grow with it. and just be aware of my surroundings also. Great parents, great siblings, but we never really talked about real estate or finance. I kind of caught on to that on my own and then went on to school and always come back and educate my family on it too, because we all own our own homes. That's not an
Mm-hmm.
issue for us. But to me, I think women should look into investing more, but they have to understand how to use that vehicle, because
Mm-hmm.
everything you read about owning real estate, it doesn't live up to it unless you know how to utilize it.
Yeah.
And there's so many vehicles out there to attain real estate and utilize it, as a vehicle and to purchase other properties and pass it on to your family members so you can create generational wealth. And you have to have those conversations also. I think a lot of women don't take the time to get the education they need to move the way they have to through the real estate industry. And then you have to get someone that's really educated that can help you
Mm-hmm.
understand how to use the vehicles, because there's so many different vehicles out there to purchase property.
That's right.
It just depends on your situation. And you can utilize it to purchase numerous properties.
That's right. What are some of those starting points for women?
There's loans like the DC, I think it's called the DCRS, where it's debt service to income. There's 1031 exchanges if you have property already. I think there's another one called the 501. I think the 1A or something. I'm not that familiar with it because I don't do a lot of finance deals. Most of my deals have been cash
Gosh,
throughout my
yeah.
career. Yeah,
That's another
because
thing.
they're large deals, and the people that are buying the properties, and initially they weren't. I think I might have had 5 finance deals in my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in this business for almost 21 years. So, that opened my eyes too, to the level of wealth there is, because wealthy people trade properties all day long.
That's right.
When the market crashed, that's when they make their money. They buy and hold, or sell at a high value. And that's how they keep creating their wealth. So even at a lower level or, a less expensive level, you can do the same thing and build on top of it.
I love that.
People are flipping houses, people are buying multi-units and they're living in them and they having other people pay the mortgage for them. The debt to income service, where you can buy a multi-unit property where you don't have to put down but so much, because the income that's already
That's right.
being, yes, that's already being
The rent
received
roll,
from,
basically. There's
yeah,
a
the
rent
rent
roll already on the property.
for the current owner, you take that over and they convey everything else to you. You just have your down payment. Boom. Here it is, your 10, 15 unit owner building,
Mm-hmm.
owner of a building. So it's so many different vehicles and so many ways to generate wealth through real estate. It's just a matter of finding what works for that client and having that conversation and sitting down with them and peeling everything back, because some clients don't want to share everything because sometimes they're a little embarrassed about their situation,
Mm-hmm.
but they should take that help that you're offering them, because you could possibly straighten everything out for them with a
Yeah.
couple of phone calls, and they
I do
don't
it all
even
the
know it.
time. I do
And
it all
it's
the
fear
time.
again. It's fear again of
Yeah.
not knowing. And
Shame,
I think,
fear.
yeah, shame, fear, lack of, finance. But there's, like I said, there's so many services out there that can help them get to that next level.
That's
And I
right.
think
So
the first part is to be educated.
agreed. Get your education, understand what the language is. When I became a financial advisor, I felt like I was learning a foreign language. So level up your language,
Real
level
estate
it
too.
up.
Yeah, well, every transaction is different. Every transaction is different. It doesn't matter if it's a finance transaction or, yeah, I mean, I'm in New York now, I'm doing real estate. There are co-ops there. I've never done a co-op before.
Mm-hmm.
I've never sold a co-op. And there's so many layers to that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn all of that before I even made a sale,
That's
and
right.
then in Philadelphia, we don't have any co-ops. We have condos and townhouses and row homes. And in Naples, we have mansions on the beach
Yeah, you
for
do.
30, 40, $100 million.
Totally
So
different.
going through all these different markets, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm lucky, but I do have my license in them and understanding them, really sitting down, understanding how the market works and being able to articulate that to a customer when you're in front of them. They're going to suss out if you know what you're talking about or not. They're going to
Absolutely.
feel comfortable, or they're going to walk away and they're going to, oh God, I'm not using her. Or they're going to walk away, you know what? I need to get her number, take down everything she says, and I need to meet with her again.
Yeah.
And basically that's how it works.
Yeah. The reason okay, let me back it up. So I'm a Vegas kid, and I'm sure this works the same way in big cities, other places. But what I know for sure is that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
To a certain extent.
What would you say different than that? Because for me, it's been in the right rooms with the right people, learning from the right people, having the right
Yes.
relationships, getting the right introductions. I started this
Oh,
podcast one so people can get to know you. So
mhm.
they can, listen to your podcast. They can find you on Instagram. But you said to a certain extent, and in what way?
Well, just as a little caveat to that, it's not, who you know, and what you know. It's who you know, what you know, and who likes you. That's the
And
big
you,
part. And who
gotcha.
likes you, who wants to do business with you. And I always tell people, people are always surprised. I can't believe I was invited, or I can't believe this is happening to me. I said, sweetheart, don't you believe or don't you know that you are being talked about before you're invited into that room? So you're doing something right. Don't feel like, oh my God, you're the luckiest person. No, you earned the right to be in that room. People are
Hmm.
talking about you before you get there. And that's the important part. It's what you do before you get to that room that gets you in that room. So it
Amen.
is who you know, what you know, and definitely who likes you.
Who likes you? I love that. Okay, so this is a great way to close the show. I had so much fun with you today. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing what you've shared. This is my rapid fire round. It's my this or that edition. I love playing this game with my guests. I love playing this game with anybody. And so I've got some questions for you and I just need you to answer one or the other. You ready? All right. High heels or bare feet at the beach?
I could do both
Both.
of those girls.
Which one is most like you?
High heels.
$1 million listing or dream vacation villa?
$1 million listing or dream vacation villa. I think the $1 million listing would work for me. I
Hey,
like
sounds
the
right.
I like the chase. I like that. Yeah. I like the challenge also.
Yeah, me too. I'm a sucker for a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Jet set luxury or quiet sanctuary?
Both. I need both.
Give
Can't
it
you tell
all
I
to
need
me.
both in my life? Then you look at my gram, I need both in my life. I like both. Well, see, I think the jet set part comes from being a flight attendant. Like, I think that's where unpacking, packing, unpacking comes from. I mean, I'm a damn good packer. And one, I'm always off somewhere.
Hmm.
Like, I cannot stay still. And I said that to my mother the other day. I said, I think it came from being a flight attendant at a very young age, always having to leave.
Yeah,
And I feel comfortable packing up my bag and just taking off.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Espresso martini or green juice?
Espresso martini,
Power suit or flowy dress?
power suit.
I love that about you.
I'm just being very honest. I'm not the flowy dress. I can deck a dress, but I am definitely the power suit girl.
Yeah, I love that.
I have no idea where that came from, but I just always loved a good suit and even a tie on a woman. I think that's very sexy and it shows strength. It shows that you're fearless. It's like
Mm,
being that bull on Wall Street, or the girl that's on Wall Street being fearless Wendy. That's how I feel. So
that's so
yeah,
great.
no, definitely a power suit. I don't think I'm not a girly girl either.
Okay.
So yeah, I think a lot of people know that already.
Okay. Well, now I know that about you. Philly grit or Miami glam?
Philly grit. Definitely Philly grit.
No question.
No question about
No
it. Philly,
question.
New York grit, that's who I am. Yeah, that's where I got my warrior scars from. Definitely Philly. Miami is something a little different. That's for the girly girl. Yeah,
Mm,
that's for the girl that loves the sun, the beach, the water. I'm a skydiver, hiker, mountain climber. I'm not even a boater. No, I'm none of those things. I'm the rough girl.
risk.
I'm the tomboy.
Me
I'm
too.
definitely the risk. Yeah, I'm the risk taker. If you say to me, Jane, let's go skydiving, I'm like, when? Come
Yeah.
on, let's do it.
I love
Bungee
roller
jumping,
coasters.
I love that too, but I don't know if I can handle that anymore. But I do love it. I think I'm getting maybe I'm a little too mature for it. Sometimes things scare me, but I love being scared. So I'm going to the Bates Motel this weekend with my
Okay.
family.
I love that. That's awesome for
Yeah.
Halloween, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we love my family is weird like that. We like scary movies. We kind of sit, I have five sisters. So we sit around and we watch movies together and I cook dinner or somebody else will cook dinner and we're like sitting there waiting, having a good
That's
time. So we're close
amazing.
knit family and I miss that so much, Lisa. That's the one thing I did miss.
Welcome home.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been
That's
a year and a
amazing.
half and I've totally gotten settled in. Yeah. I'm
Good.
excited.
I'm glad. Well, I'm excited to see where you're at in a year from now. I know it's going to be exciting. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the platform that you've built, for the courage that you
Thank you.
exude. It isn't confidence, it's courage, and it's being fearless, and it's taking risks, and it's following your heart. And you've been an extraordinary guest today. Thank you for showing us that wealth isn't about what we have, it's about what we believe we can create and who we are.
Absolutely. Have an abundance of joy. That's what's important. Happiness will come and it's fleeting and it will go, but the next day is nothing wrong with still being joyful in your life,
It's
and that's
beautiful.
family. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've learned. It's been a road to get here, but wow, it's definitely different.
In a good
Yeah.
way.
Oh, I didn't know it would be different.
No one
I
ever
didn't.
does.
Right. How did
Yeah.
you feel?
How did I feel when I started over?
Yeah.
Free.
Really, that's what it is.
Well, you're living proof that women can redefine success and own their future, literally. So thank you for being here. And I'm excited to see where you're at in a year from now and for all the things to come. Check out Jane. All of her information's in the show notes. Jane, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Lisa.